Hello and welcome to UNews. I'm Jacob Melder, here with your weekly update of all things Union. This weekend is homecoming. Festivities began with a movie in the Bold Thursday night. The movie shown was The Sandlot. SAC hosts movie events throughout the semester. Friday night, the school brought in a rink students could skate on, and on Saturday, Union will face off on the basketball court with Shorter University. Tip-off is 2 o'clock. Between the games, your homecoming court will be shown off to the world, so come for the sport and stay for the court. The homecoming court. Saturday night will be capped off with a concert performed by Lecrae. This weekend, Union also hosted the Southeast Journalism Conference. Over 300 journalism students came from colleges all over the South. The theme for the conference was The Power of Narrative, Journalism in the Digital Age. Moving on, SGA has officially run out of money. Don't worry, this is a good thing from their perspective. They've given all their allotment funds to student organizations. So congrats to everyone who got money. We didn't, and we're jealous. This week, Union hosted 2 political events. On Tuesday, Dr. Brian McGraw gave a lecture about citizenship as vocation. Now, Dr. McGraw was brought here by the Center for Politics and Religion. Dr. Watson is the director of the center.
One of the purposes of the Center for Politics and Religion is to bring in speakers who will give us a viewpoint we might not otherwise hear.
Then on Thursday, Josh Trent, a Union alum, stopped by to give a speech on being a Christian in Washington. He has worked for over a decade in Washington. He outlined some keys Christians can focus on to stay strong in the faith and provide a good witness while in the political center of the world. That does it for the events of this week. Let's kick it over to Lee Margaret Bostick in the Sports Zone. Lee Margaret?
Hey Bulldogs, I'm Lee Margaret Bostick, here to tell you all about sports this week. Last weekend, the women's golf team took third in the Start to Finish Classic that was hosted by Weber International in Florida. On Tuesday, our softball team had their season opener in a doubleheader against Bethel University. The Lady Bulldogs pulled out a win in both games, giving them an impressive start to their season and a 2-0 record. Thursday night, the men's basketball team lost 82-77 to number 8 ranked University Alabama Huntsville. They started out with a lead, but were unable to pull out the victory. The women, however, were able to pull out a victory. The Lady Bulldogs triumphed over UAH 75-70, which brings them their 3rd straight win and makes them 17-6 for the season. On Friday night, the baseball team played against Bethel here at home and pulled out a solid 7-4 win. This is the 4th game they have played this season after their season opener was postponed due to the weather. Coming up this week, on Tuesday, the baseball team will play a doubleheader against Southern Arkansas University. Coming up on Thursday night, both Bulldog basketball teams will take on the University of West Alabama Tigers here at Union in the Fred. The Lady Bulldogs will play at 6 p.m. and the men will follow at 8. Saturday is a crazy busy day in sports. At noon, the baseball and softball teams both play doubleheaders. The baseball team will play here at the Fesmar Field against the UWA Tigers at noon and at 3, and the softball team also plays at noon as well as at 2 against the Valdosta State Blazers in away games in Georgia. The Lady Bulldogs basketball team plays the University of West Georgia in an away game at 1 p.m., and the men's basketball team will also play the University of West Georgia after the women's game at 3 p.m. That's all for sports this week. I'm going to send it over to Jacob now. Peace out, Bulldogs.
Thanks, Lee Margaret. Let's go ahead and look at some of the events happening this week on campus. On Monday at 3 in the Carl Grant Center, the Institute for Intellectual Discipleship is sponsoring John Hodges. His lecture is titled Imagination and Patience, How Beauty Speaks to the Soul. I'll say, all you beautiful people out there, speak to my soul. Thank you. On Wednesday, we have Black History Month Symposium. This will be hosted in the Carl Grant Center at 11:30. Panelists will include Pastor Brian Loritz, who's the chapel speaker Wednesday morning, and Dr. John Bryson from Fellowship Memphis Church. Guys, these men are leaders in reconciliation efforts in Memphis. I cannot express just how great this symposium will be. So make time to be there. We here at UNews also want you to be cultured individuals, so we suggest coming to Hartley Hall, which is in the 1st floor of Jennings Hall, to hear a special guest recital. Sohyun Park Altino and Victor Asuncion will be performing there at 7 o'clock Thursday night. And while we're in the concert mode, I should tell you that Barefoot's Joe is having another concert this Friday. The performance will be by The Last Bison. Now, I did some Googling on these guys because you know they're underground. But they're an indie folk band from Virginia, and if I may throw in my personal thoughts, they've got a pretty cool sound. So come by the concert at 8. It's free. Really, what's the damage that it could cause? That does it for the upcoming events. Before we go, we wanted to share a special video of which some of our members of the news team were a part. Con los terroristas.
Harlem Shake. Con los terroristas.
A special thank you to Ben Wright for letting us use that footage. And thank you for watching this week's U News. Remember, you can connect with us throughout the week by liking our Facebook page and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter @UnionUNews. And if you have any stories you'd like for us to cover, send us an email, unionyounews@gmail.com. For Lee Margaret and the rest of the crew, I'm Jacob Melder. Thanks for watching U News, where you are the news, we just report it.